Right now, you might feel like you're standing at the edge of everything you've known, staring into an abyss of uncertainty. The weight of circumstances pressing down on your shoulders, the echoes of doubt whispering in your ears, the familiar sting of setbacks burning in your chest. I know it feels overwhelming. But let me tell you something that you need to hear, something that your heart already knows, but your mind might have forgotten. It's not the end. Think about the sun for a moment. Every single evening, it appears to sink below the horizon, painting the sky in shades of defeat. To someone who didn't know better, each sunset might look like the end of light itself. But what happens? Without fail, that same sun rises again, breaking through the darkness, painting new colors across the canvas of possibility. Your current situation is just like that sunset. It's not an ending, it's a transition. Remember when you were learning to walk? Of course you don't. But I can tell you what happened. You fell. Again and again and again. Each time, the ground rushed up to meet you. And each time, something remarkable happened. You got back up. Not because you were certain you would succeed, but because something deep inside you knew that falling wasn't the end of your story. That same strength hasn't left you. It's still there, woven into the very fiber of your being. Look at your hands for a moment. These same hands that might be trembling with uncertainty right now are the same ones that have overcome countless obstacles before. They've wiped away tears, yes, but they've also punched through barriers. They've held on to dreams when everything else seemed to be slipping away. These hands have written chapters of your story that once seemed impossible, and they're not done writing yet. You see, life has this fascinating way of testing us precisely when we think we can't take anymore. It's as if the universe has a challenging sense of humor, presenting us with mountains to climb when we're already out of breath. But here's what I've learned. These moments of apparent ending are actually invitations to begin again, differently, stronger, wiser. Think of the most inspiring stories you know, whether they're from history books, movies, or your own life. Notice how they all share one common thread. The moment of apparent defeat was never actually the end. It was the pivot point. The phoenix doesn't just rise from the ashes. It rises because of the ashes. Your current struggles aren't your destruction. They're your transformation in progress. When Thomas Edison's laboratory burned down, destroying years of work and research, he didn't see an ending. Instead, he said, "All our mistakes are burned up. Thank God we can start anew." That's not just positive thinking. That's understanding a fundamental truth about life, that every apparent ending carries within it the seeds of a new beginning. You might be thinking, but you don't understand my situation. This time it's different. And you're right, I don't know your specific circumstances. But I know something about the human spirit, about your spirit. It's the same force that has driven humanity to cross oceans, scale mountains, cure diseases, and reach for the stars. That spirit doesn't recognize endings. It only sees challenges to overcome, problems to solve, stories to tell. Consider for a moment the mighty redwood trees. These giants don't grow despite adversity. They grow stronger because of it. The winds that threaten to topple them actually cause them to grow deeper roots and stronger bark. Your challenges are your wins. They're not here to break you. They're here to show you just how deep your roots can go, just how strong you can become. The truth is, what feels like an ending is often life's way of clearing the path for something better. It's like a master artist wiping away parts of a painting, not to destroy it, but to add something more beautiful. Your setbacks, your disappointments, your moments of doubt, they're all just part of the creative process of your life's masterpiece. Think about water for a moment. When it hits an obstacle, it doesn't stop, it doesn't end. It flows around, over or under. It transforms, it adapts, it finds a way. Sometimes it even carves through solid rock, not through brute force, but through persistent, unwavering determination. That's the kind of strength you possess. Not always dramatic, not always obvious, but absolutely unstoppable when channeled with purpose. You might feel stuck right now, like you're trapped in a maze with no exit in sight. But remember, being stuck is not the same as being defeated. It's simply an invitation to look at your situation from a different angle. Sometimes we need to climb higher to see the path that was there all along. Sometimes we need to be still to hear the wisdom that was always whispering to us. Consider the butterfly emerging from its cocoon. If you were to watch this process, you might be tempted to help, to break open the cocoon and free the struggling creature. But scientists have discovered something fascinating, that struggle is essential. It's the very process of pushing against resistance that strengthens the butterfly's wings, making flight possible. Your current struggles are strengthening you in ways you might not yet understand. There's a Japanese concept called kintsugi, the art of repairing broken pottery with gold. Instead of hiding the cracks, they highlight them, turning imperfection into beauty. This is what you're doing right now, whether you realize it or not. Every crack, every break, every moment that feels like an ending. These are all opportunities for gold to fill the spaces, making you more valuable, not less. The world needs your story, not just the highlight reel, but the whole journey. Every tear, every doubt, every moment when you thought it was the end, but kept going anyway. These are the details that make your story worth telling. These are the moments that will inspire others when they face their own apparent endings. You are not defined by what has happened to you. You are defined by how you choose to respond. And right now you have a choice. You can see this as the end, or you can see it as what it truly is, a turning point, a new chapter, an opportunity for reinvention. Remember, courage isn't about not feeling afraid. It's about feeling afraid and moving forward anyway. It's about acknowledging the weight of your circumstances while refusing to be crushed by them. It's about understanding that it's not the end isn't just a phrase. It's a decision you make every single time you choose to take another step forward. Your potential isn't something that can be ended by circumstances. It's not something that can be taken away by setbacks or diminished by failures. Your potential is like a vast ocean. You might experience waves and storms on the surface, but deep beneath, there's an immense power that remains untouched by temporary disturbances. Right now, somewhere in the world, someone is facing their own apparent ending. They're standing where you are, feeling what you feel, wondering if they have the strength to go on. And somewhere else, someone who was in your position yesterday is already seeing the first rays of their new beginning. That's how it works. We fall, we rise, we adapt, we grow. The chapter you're in right now might be difficult. It might be painful. It might feel impossible. But remember, you've survived every single one of your worst days so far. You've made it through every storm, every setback, every moment when you thought you couldn't go on. And you're still here, still fighting, still moving forward. This is not your ending. This is your moment of transformation. This is where you discover strengths you never knew you had, courage you didn't know you possessed, and resilience that will surprise even you. This is where you write the plot twist in your story that people will talk about later. The moment when everything seemed lost, but you refused to let that be the end. So stand up. Take a deep breath. Feel the strength of every obstacle you've already overcome flowing through you. Let the weight of your circumstances become the foundation of your comeback. Because this moment right here is not your end. It's your beginning, and your greatest chapter is still waiting to be written. Remember, as long as you're breathing, as long as your heart is beating, there's more to your story. There's more strength to discover, more wisdom to gain, more impact to make. You're not just surviving, you're preparing for your finest moments. And they're coming. Because this is not the end. This is just the beginning of discovering who you really are and what you're truly capable of achieving.